Good day to you, my friends. My name is Donato. Welcome to today's daily show. And in today's show, I'll be talking about, and I've got some notes here because this is very important stuff. I'll be talking about the Wednesday wisdom and things I've learned from some top athletes. Cue me drinking some tea. So yes, welcome one and all. Bonjour, buongiorno, boreda, guten tag. Do you know any more? Leave some comments below. Where in the world are you from, and have I missed your language? And I'd love to hear what good morning or good day is, g'day is in your particular language. So yes, without further ado, it's a pretty short, sharp one. I've got lots of tech here because I keep losing sound. I've had a bit of a tech nightmare this morning, but hey, we've got to press on, continue. And yeah, before I press on and I've got to give a big thank you to everybody's comments on yesterday's vlog regarding the Transformation Tuesday. If I can, you can. And don't worry, Alan. Yeah, I saw a very long reply, and those of you who do watch this vlog every day, go and have a look at Alan's response to my vlog, and he has some very valid points there, and I'll be covering it in tomorrow's vlog because it's Throwback Thursday, and I did have a plan of going through some things there, so don't worry, Alan. I'll be doing a bit of a reply to you guys, so have a look through, see on Alan's point, and he has some very valid points there, and maybe some things that I say may be taken out of context, and I do apologise if it is taken out of context or whatever, but yeah, it's me. If you're new to the channel, I just talk, say it how it is, shoot from the hip, whatever you want to call it, and I drink from the cup. Yes, I just made that one up here. So yeah, I wanted to be really quick on this one because it's Wednesday wisdom, and over the past few days, few weeks, I've been fortunate enough to meet some really amazing people. Mari Yamuchi, who's the second fastest. We've all heard of Paula Radcliffe. You may have heard of Mari Yamuchi, you may not have, but she's the second fastest British lady at marathon distance ever, so second to Paula Radcliffe. Also Paul Evans, who won the Chicago Marathon back in 1996, who's currently the fifth fastest British male runner ever at marathon distance. And there was Brendan Rendell, also I met, amazing guy who ran coast to coast Africa. Amazing guys, and many more. And also I haven't actually met Jack Daniels, before I took up running, or before even the other day, I'd never heard of this guy called Jack Daniels, top coach, and I'll be going through some of the points that I've learnt from him. Haven't actually met him, but I did come across some information about it which I just wanted to share because it's part of learning, because there is a quote, and I've got to read this here because sometimes we can get our quotes wrong, can't we? So I always prefer to learn from other people. My philosophy in life is if someone's made a mistake doing certain things, I'd like to learn from that person's mistakes. Now, we all make mistakes. I've made many mistakes. If you look at my first ever marathon, I think I made every mistake in the book. That's right. Because it was my first one, and for me, I thought, well, I know it all. I mean, I'm in my 50s. What's anyone going to teach me? Yeah, oh, little did I know. Yeah. Ooh, I need another sip. So after that first one, I decided to go out and learn. So here's a quote, and it said that a wise person learns from his mistakes. Yeah, so I like, you know, do we learn from our own mistakes? But a wiser one learns from others' mistakes, which, as I was saying, I like to learn from other people's mistakes. But this one takes it a step further. But the wisest person of all learns from others' successes. So for me, those three guys that I mentioned, when I say guys, I do mean guys and gals, you know, but it's people. Mari Yamuchi, Paul Evans, Brendan Rendell, and Jack Daniels. You know, these people are winners, and I like to learn from them. But a few key points, and I've written it down here because they are fundamental. I'll be sharing some of these over the coming days, weeks as well, because there's just so much. I could do a whole seminar on what I'd learned. I mean, just the one event I went to was over 2 hours with Mari Yamuchi there. Learned a hell of a lot. So I'm just going to pull out some key points which I think is relevant to right now in terms of where we're at. And by the way, I did put out a questionnaire one of these new features now that I've got over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube's, I can put out some questionnaires. So you may have seen it, and it'd be great if you go in and tick that box in terms of what types of runs that you do. Are you training for anything in particular? Do you just run for fun? All that type of stuff. So have a look through, answer the questions, and then I can have a look through and give you some relevant feedback. But one point that was picked up is that I've always spoke about, when I talked about my lessons learnt at Chicago, those who did see me at Chicago saw that I was running at you know, comfortable. If you look at the vlog, I felt comfortable all the way through. I'd worked out my pace and I was running to that pace. Yeah, now it might sound easy, and it's not easy. Yeah, it takes a lot of time and effort. But a random statistic that was given to me, did you know that 75% of runners who start a marathon go out too fast? 75%. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that the vast majority of them will hit that inevitable wall, and they slow down. So, do you want to be in the 25%? Or the 75%. Now for me, I prefer to be in the 25%. So what Paul Evans said, and he did mention in the running show update that I showed there, let me pull up some info. I just want to check that the sound is still working, because I don't want to lose my sound. He was saying that basically, so you've got a marathon, target time, split it in half, and don't go faster in that first half, you know, so undercook it. I think you used the word undercooking it, which is, I think, is that a familiar phrase that people have heard? Undercooking, like in the cooking phrase. So go out slow, yeah. And I've always said, I mean, for me in Chicago, my big memory, because now I'm starting in the front pens, is when I go off, I'm going off at a particular pace, and I see people flying past me. I didn't see that in Boston, because we're all in set pens and certain paces, but in some of the other majors, because Boston we're all corralled into similar pace people. But what I found at Chicago, because there's lots of other types of runners, they just went off like a bull in a china shop. And as I say, come mile 12, 15, 18, I'm just passing them all, because they've gone off way too fast, way too fast. So there's a lesson learnt in terms of splits in times. What was the other thing I learnt is, oh yeah, they mentioned, made me chuckle, this one, is, and don't take this the wrong way, it's just sometimes some things are said as a bit of a joke. So, social media influencers are a bad influence, yeah. Mate, oh, I won't go there, we could go down like a right rabbit hole. You know, is that why maybe 75% of people go out too fast? I don't know, are people reading the wrong blogs, looking at the wrong vlogs, you know, and... you know, I like to learn from people who are actually doing it, not talking about it. But anyway, I know here I am talking, but I'd like to think that my results actually speak for themselves as well. So here's another brilliant one that I picked up, that rest and recovery is a part of training. Don't ever think, and I see some people now that we're getting into the height of spring marathon training, that there's a lot of people, oh wow, my tummy is rumbling, but thankfully, I've got a bit of this, a bit of freebie, so I'll be eating this after. I'm not going to be eating it on air here, because then I'll be editing and it'll be taking forever, but I need to quickly eat that before I go out. But as I digress, is that rest and recovery, eating, drinking, all that kind of stuff, it's a part of the training. It's not just the running bit or the cross-training bit or the spin classes or the yoga, it's the rest and recovery. And I've said that before, and I think in one of the previous vlogs, I may have mentioned it once or twice. Recovery, recovery, recovery. I need a sip of tea to recover from just saying that. Now, this one, I've got so many here, but and I'll be covering some in terms of Throwback Thursday as well tomorrow, but... oh, looking at my notes here. Right, oh, here's a brilliant one. Here's a brilliant. When I mentioned rest and recovery, is essential. A lot of people now, I've seen some people, which is a bit worrying, is that we're barely a few weeks into, for some people, marathon training, and there's already people talking about they've got injuries, they've got this, they've got that, and people are beginning to stress. And I was the same. In my first ever marathon, I think within a few weeks of the training started, I picked up some kind of injury, and I was getting stressed and wondering, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to finish a marathon. Oh, yeah, I got into a real panic, a bit of a tiz, yeah, because I was a novice, I was a beginner, I didn't know what to think, yeah. I need another drink after that. Ah, yes, It's a good day today. So let me give you a fact that I picked up from one of these winners in terms of, because for me the concern is not being able to train is that I would lose my fitness. That was my overall concern. If I'm not able to train, and my fitness is going to go down. And you may have seen some blogs, vlogs out there or journals about losing fitness when we're not training. Well, here's a fact. And this is a fact of science that someone had done. And again, don't take it out of context because it applies to all of us. Is that there was a group of athletes taken and they've done the physiological, metallurgical, all that kind of tests, whatever you want to call it, of these marathon runners who were training, yeah? And these are at the top end, yeah? 100 miles a week for 1 year they'd been running. Yeah, I know, yeah, I'm never going to be doing those kind of distances. And they took the test beforehand and they saw all the meteorological, physiological tests, and then they didn't run, and this is a fact, for 87 days, yeah? 87 days. Now that's a long time, yeah? 87 days. Well, in my little head, going around with the figures, if it's 30 days in a month, near enough 90, that's 3 months, yeah? So they've been doing, how much fitness did they lose? How much fitness did they lose in those 3 months of doing no running? How much fitness did they lose? All of it? No, they only lost, right, and I'm looking at the figures here, between 5 and 10% of the actual gain that they had from training to the 100 miles. So, my friends, and it was a shock to me, yeah? I know, are you shocked? I'm shocked. I was really shocked to see those figures, but we often hear that if you stop and it's going down, it's not going down that much. The fitness level whilst, and I think a brilliant example is I got that injury, I think it was 5 weeks before New York Marathon. And I was stressing again that I would lose the fitness. Now, whilst the injury meant that I couldn't really walk properly and I had mechanical issues, yeah, as opposed to fitness issues, I still finished that marathon and I came in with a Boston qualifier because that fitness, whilst it'd gone down a little, it hadn't disappeared. So I'm living proof, you know, so whilst that might be a shock to all of us, but I'm sure there's examples from you guys. If you guys got examples, leave some comments below of you know, where you've had to stop training or whatever and you can get back. And something that was also said is that whilst certain things go down, we might forget in terms of our breathing and so on and so forth. As soon as we get back, that comes back up really quickly. And I certainly noticed that with my Chicago marathon, where I often take a whole week off and do nothing after a marathon. Nothing. No recovery runs, no, nothing. I might go out walking because obviously I was doing sightseeing and touring, but I didn't do any recovery runs, any of that kind of stuff yet. I don't feel like doing it. I just ate lots of deep dish pizza in Chicago and loved it. So when I did, whilst the fitness had gone down a little bit, as soon as I restarted, it went back up almost, you know, within days, within a week, I think, or 2 weeks, back up, bang, straight up to the level that where I was at before Chicago. So there you have it, my friends. There's a bit of Wednesday wisdom that I wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully you found it useful. And as always, leave your comments below of your observations, interesting points that you may have with regards to your wisdom that you want to share, because we're all here to learn and grow and share together, right? This is we're growing a wonderful community here on the Running Guru Show, and I very much enjoy talking to you guys. Whilst it's a bit of a rush this morning because I've got places to go, people to see, and whether I upload this, I'll see how the upload goes or whatever, but I almost really have to get going. So it might not appear till tonight, unfortunately, because looking at the time now, I just looked at the time, yeah, it's getting late, so I need to get out there. And so hopefully you've enjoyed this. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. I'm going to have to eat this cake because my tummy is rumbling really bad, even though I've already had a breakfast long ago. It's probably second breakfast time, or is it coming up to lunchtime? Early lunch? I don't know. I'm just hungry. So thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this. My name's been Donato. Today's been the Daily Donato. I think 56. We are growing. It's fantastic. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your comments, and I'll see you tomorrow. And as I mentioned, Alan, yeah, I've not forgotten you. I'll be giving a response on the Throwback Thursday, I think, with regards to yesterday's Transformation Tuesday. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Great evening. Right time. Bye. Time for some more tea.